Hello, beautiful beings. It's been a while since I heard the ancients say, let's make a video, but it was definitely coming through loud and clear today. I have popped out of a major life lesson that I've been going through for the last several months. And I just got off the phone with my mom, Ocean. And it's just absolutely amazing to me how parallel we are in our life lessons. We can feel the intensity of what the other one is going through, and then when we talk about it, it's like, wow, that was almost exactly the same, what we were both shedding and evolving out of, ascending out of. I'm waiting for the dust of my thoughts to settle to where then there's no thoughts at all, and then that's where it'll just come through. A couple months ago, I met a man in my neighborhood. Well, I was seeing him walking around, and I was intensely attracted to him. I was just like, wow, I am so attracted to that guy. And I thought, that's a bad boy. That's why I'm attracted to him. And I've been asking for the last couple months, why are we attracted, some of us, why are we attracted to bad boys? And logically, I understood why. It's like, just his, he's just so handsome, like downright beautiful. And he seems to exude confidence, just the way he walks, his physical form, just freaking sexy off the charts. So I was thinking, okay, this would be a lust lesson. And I thought, I shouldn't go there. And then I thought, I'm going to remember myself saying I shouldn't go there because he's a bad boy. I'm going to be looking back. I don't know how long from now I'm going to be looking back and saying I shouldn't have went there. But I'm not going to say it because I did go there. And now I'm out. And this video is not going to be made for children. So I don't have to censor myself at all. I have been abstaining from sex for it'll be 7 years in June next month, and I did not break that with this intensely hot man. And I had to pray about it because it was the attraction was incredibly intense on both sides. And they're saying that yes, the attraction was very equal and intense on both sides, but it wasn't actually an equal attraction, because they're showing me that my attraction was to his physical form, as was his attraction to me, was the physical form. But then deeper than that, my attraction to him was, I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself with that other part of the attraction. I'm sure I'll pick that back up. But the other attraction to me that he had for me was my light that he has not cultivated in himself yet. He has not done the work yet to uncover his own light. And I have to be very careful of that. People wanting to siphon my energy, be in my light. Ancients, I know that you're going to help me tie in my part of the attraction throughout this video. So thank you. So the flirting began, and I live in an RV park, and I have a very beautiful spot here. I have the best spot in the RV park. I'm completely private on this whole side. And I have huge trees, and it's just my point of attraction. When I landed here several years ago, I was right in the midst of everybody, and this is the third time that I've moved back to this park, and each time I've gotten a better spot. So I think actually it's the second time I've moved back here, but the first time that I was here, I moved my tiny home around 3 different times, and each time the spot got better and better because I was getting better and better. And then there's 2 cabins here. I lived in both of those for 2 winters. So I've spent a lot of time in this RV park, and it's a very, it feels like a very safe place to be. And I love my tiny home. So yeah, I don't mind living here at all. Some people would say, you live in an RV park in your camper? Well, it's not like that. I mean, if you can see, I'm going to show you around my home. I've been doing quite a bit to it at some part in the video, I think. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Okay, so I did quit smoking marijuana a couple months ago now because, you know, I've had my lessons with marijuana, and I'm ready for a life of non-attachment as far as, well, hopefully as far as anything goes, but as far as reaching out for something to change how I'm feeling, I feel like I'm done with that. And it feels absolutely amazing. My eyes feel very dry right now and burning because I've been crying this morning, releasing, and there's a lot of pollen in the air right now too. And also I have incense going. But besides that, yeah, I feel really, 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 really great about not smoking marijuana anymore. I have had 3 intense craving times to where my mind was telling me that I should go get edibles because I can't smoke anymore. My throat and my lungs absolutely cannot tolerate it. I couldn't even take one little tiny hit without coughing until I almost threw up. So that's definitely an indicator that I need to let go. And also, my persona has such an addictive personality when it comes to reaching out to things to make me feel different, that I was smoking every 20 minutes easily, and all day long, every day. And I'm under no illusion. And I know I've said this before, but it takes a while sometimes for these things to leave my life. And as long as I never give up trying to release them, then I will always succeed. And no matter what it is that I'm working on. So the thing with this man, the flirting began, and it just felt so good because I knew he was equally as attracted to me, and it was, you know, definitely a persona boost, an ego boost. I don't need my ego boosted because I'm not my ego, and I've come full circle, and I'm fully remembering that. I remembered it the whole time, but it can be very very enmeshed because we are having this human experience also. So in a way, I am this person right now, but I am definitely not this person. I am seeing through this physical form, and today I'm seeing that clearly. So it was very intoxicating. Even that word intoxicating is definitely a warning sign for me that I'm going in the wrong direction. But is it the wrong direction? No, because I've learned even more than I did before. Even though it seems like I've learned all these things before, shedding more of it, going deeper with it, ascending out of it more is all a part of being here on the earth plane. It's all a part of being a healer for humanity. It's imperative that I go through these lessons. I really hope that I don't ever have to go through one of these again, because it's not fun. It seems fun for a minute, but then it's not fun. I have swore that I would never ever be with another man that drinks, and this man drinks. But he's just so beautiful to me, and the attraction was so intense that I wanted to ignore it, and I tried to ignore it. And the first go around with him was about a month ago, and when I say go around, it didn't include at any time throughout this whole thing, has not included sex. This video is going to be not made for children. I don't know if I already mentioned that or not. Because I have been abstaining from sex for, it'll be 7 years next month, because that type of interaction, if it's with somebody that is not ultimately for my highest good, it just takes so much from me and gives me so much of their toxic energy. And I mean, I've prayed my ass off through this whole experience with this man, because I have come incredibly close to breaking that vow to myself that I would never ever do that again with somebody that wasn't for my highest good. But my prayers got me through, and just the love and respect I have for myself also, and the purpose on my purpose on the planet. I do not want to disrespect that in any way, and I really don't want to get my ass kicked very brutally. And I would have, if I would have went there. I would have, I feel I would have, got something. The first time I kissed him over a month ago now, I got strep throat right away. Within 3 days, I was feeling really sick, and definitely went in and had strep throat and told him. And I mean, who else? I didn't get it from anybody else. I hadn't kissed anybody for almost 7 years. And I thought he was going to argue with me. Oh, you probably drank after somebody, blah, blah, blah. Because he was a really good deflector, a really good gaslighter, excellent manipulator and liar. And very, very incredibly convincing, and very charismatic. And, I think I mentioned incredibly attractive. So, but I told him, this is exactly how I got it. It's from kissing. And I sent him a bunch of things from the internet saying how a person can be a carrier of these things and not have any symptoms themselves. And he believed me and said that he was going to go right into the doctor and get checked out. And I said, well, the test doesn't always, it says the test doesn't always show up that you have it, but they highly encourage that you get on antibiotics anyway, because you're just going to keep giving it to people. So, oh, I absolutely will. And well, I stopped kissing him after that. I got on antibiotics, and that saved me. That was an interception on my part. That, it may have seemed like, oh man, that was a really bad thing to happen, but that was the divine intercepting, so I wouldn't go any further. So that saved me from kissing him more. And so the last time we hung out, it was several weeks ago, and with this person, it was impossible for me to look at him and say, oh, he's been drinking. Just like myself, when I used to drink, nobody could tell that I was drinking. I could fake sobriety so well. But the thing that does give this man away is his temper. And he gets very confusing with what he's saying. And I'm just like, wait a minute. And argumentative and very manipulative. All of those lovely characteristics that active alcoholics have. And, before I'd realize it, we were arguing about something, and then I'd think, oh, he's been drinking. Okay. So we went to the river several weeks ago. It was about a month ago now. And it was not a good experience at all. I was seeing that anger coming out of him. And he says that he doesn't remember any of it. And I kind of think that's true. He had a very traumatic brain injury. You can see where this was all busted right here. And he showed me other places on his body where he's had many, like 12 bones broken. And I know that especially people with traumatic brain injuries, alcohol, medication, things like that affect them differently, and do make them tend to be angry when they do those things. So after our time together at the river, I didn't speak to him for 2 weeks, until about a little over a week ago. He was out mowing. He works, has a different job, but he also works here at the RV park. And I saw him out mowing, and I didn't feel any bad feelings towards him anymore. And, I was relaxing about it, and plus had seen him walking by and, lusting after him. And so Doozer wanted to go see him. Doozer wants to go see everybody, but I used Doozer as an excuse and walked over to him, and he shut his mower off and squatted down to pet Doozer, and he looked up at me with those beautiful, beautiful eyes of his. And we just started talking, and so then after that day, like, I don't know, 8 days ago now, we started talking every day and just having brief, lovely, peaceful interactions. And my energy stayed the same. I didn't feel like I was picking up on any negative energy from him. And he can speak incredibly eloquently, very beautifully. He can speak very wisely when he wants to, like he's incredibly aware of the demons that he's battling, and how he's really working on not drinking, and how he's seeing things differently. And it's all incredibly convincing, but he's nowhere in the vicinity of the words that are coming out of his mouth. Nowhere near quitting any of that stuff. So I let myself get sucked back in again. The reason I don't say I got sucked back in again, because that, what's the word, ancients? That just makes it seem like I have no power, but these are all my choices. It's all about my choices. So I made the choice to start hanging out with him, and for the last 3 days specifically, he has been in my tiny home with me, and I've been cooking him dinner, and we've been laughing and hanging out, and just, it seems like having a good time but I have noticed a couple times, and then going to have like a barbecue with some other people that live here in the RV park. I've never socialized in all the time that I've lived here at the RV park. I've never went and socialized with anybody. I've been kind of in hermit mode. I kind of keep to myself when it comes to my neighborhood. So it was really nice to go, be interacting with different people, and this man also. And he was drinking the whole time, but staying incredibly sweet and affectionate and very loving. And but it always comes out. It's just right underneath the surface. They can't mask it for very long if it's in there. The anger, the manipulation and the lying, and just the toxicity. That's right. The toxicity cannot be held down for very long. Thank goodness. So yesterday we went to the river again, and he said, yeah, and I couldn't tell that he'd been drinking. But he said, yeah, women don't want to admit it, but more often than not, they will end up with somebody that's just like their dad. And I thought, I make a mental note of everything everybody says, their body language. I'm very observant. So, well, if I'm so observant, how can I, get myself into situations? Well, it's just not that cut and dried. I was going with like regular human feelings, intense attraction. I call it my lust lesson. They're saying there's nothing wrong with lust if it comes later. It can't come first. If it's with somebody that you've built a deep friendship with and a deep bond with, and they're never mean to you, and they have really good communication. I'm not expecting perfection, but I am expecting somebody that has done major work on themselves, and somebody that doesn't get angry with me. So I made a mental note of him saying that, and that was yesterday. And so he's been trying to quit smoking cigarettes. So he got this vape pen, this nicotine vape pen. And night before last, he had it over here, and he was vaping in here all night. And I didn't say anything about it because I didn't know if it was going to bother my body or not. I haven't smoked cigarettes for 14 years, so uh, I woke up yesterday morning with just a horrible headache, like I do right now. The headache and the pressure in my neck and my head is all from his energy, like just getting this really, it's a much lower vibration that I've been around for the last several days. And so I'm definitely recovering from that, detoxing from that. I have saged myself. I've Palo Santo'd myself. Um, I've prayed. I showered. I talked to Ocean. I talked to Moonstar this morning also. And so he sent me a message this morning, and he was mean last night. His temper definitely came out. I let him, he spent the night before last, did not have sex. I told you I did not do that, and I can't even, there are no words to express how deeply grateful that I did not do that. Oh my gosh, it's just absolutely amazing. Oh, so deeply grateful. So it was fine, but I got maybe an hour and a half's worth of sleep. That's one reason my eyes are like this, because I'm still so tired. But he was just so sweet and loving all night long. He would wake up and just be so tender, and just, it was a wonderful experience, it felt like. And then last night, oh, and also his feet tend to smell because of his work boots, he said. And so he came over night before last, and he had flip-flops on, and I was making us dinner, and that's all I could smell was his feet. And I didn't say anything for about an hour. And then I finally said, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to upset him. And I noticed that too. I was just like, wow. And I didn't want to embarrass him. I didn't want to make him feel uncomfortable. But more than that, I didn't want to get that part of him that just automatically flips it back around to me. Well, you never said anything about it before. Last time we hung out and I had my flip-flops on, he would say stuff like that if I told him how I was feeling about something. And so I finally did. I said, hey, I don't want to embarrass you or anything, but I really can't pay attention to anything you're saying because I'm smelling your feet. And oh, he was embarrassed right away, but he was really sweet about it. He was super embarrassed. His face was beet red. But he was just like, yeah. He said, it's okay. You don't have to feel bad about it. He said, I'm the one that told you in the very beginning that my feet smell really bad because of my work boots. He said, I'll just go ahead and put them outside. And he went over to his place and got some socks, and it was fine after that. Well, last night, I find out that he had been drinking whiskey. And, I only had a couple beers over there with Bobby. And then, then somebody gave me the little airplane bottles full of whiskey. And because right before we laid down last night, he pulled one out from somewhere, a little bottle of Crown Royal, and chugged it right in front of me. And I was like just staring at him in disbelief. It was right before we were going to lay down together. And I said, well, I'm certainly not going to kiss you now. And he was just like, why the F wouldn't you do that? I said, well, why would I? We've had this talk before. I haven't drank for over 20 years. And one of the most disgusting things to me is tasting alcohol on a man's breath. In their mouth, and having alcohol in my mouth from his. No. The fact that they're saying he does understand it. He just deflects and gaslights, because if he doesn't, then he's not going to get what he wants. And lately that's been me. And so he was just like, I'll put a piece of gum in. And I wanted to keep things nice. So I said, okay. So I brushed my teeth, and then we laid down together. And he said, now make sure and tell me, let me know, like if you can't sleep, let me know, and I'll just get up and I'll go to my place. And he was really nice about it. I said, okay, that would be really great, because I'm so exhausted from last night. And so an hour and a half after we laid down, I said, well, if you can stop touching me too, because if you touch me, because he was constantly waking me up night before last, constantly waking me up right when I'd fall asleep. He'd be like rubbing my arm or rubbing my leg, basically groping me, trying to get to the like the spots, and I just felt like I was constantly fending him off. Anyway, so that was exhausting in itself. And then last night I finally fell asleep, and then I woke up and he's grabbing my leg, and I literally wanted to just scream so loud, no, fucking stop touching me, you said you wouldn't touch me. And I did say no, though. Like, I grabbed onto his arm and I said no, and he was just like, fine. And he rolled over, and I could feel the anger coming from him, and that was it for me. That was absolutely it. Never again will I subject myself to laying in bed with an angry man beside me. I don't have to do that. Ever. Ever, ever. Not for one moment. So I got up and I said, and I was apprehensive about doing it. It was like poking a bear. That's what it felt like. But this is my space, and I had to reclaim it. So I said, hey, I really need you to go home. I absolutely can't sleep. I cannot sleep. And he was pissed. And he sat up and he was just like, you chew me out. You chew me out last night because I was touching you and keeping you awake. And so tonight I don't touch you at all. And you're still kicking me out. It wasn't anything like that. I didn't chew him out the night before for touching me. I just said, I just wake up when you touch me. So if you can just not touch me, maybe we'll be able to sleep together. Yeah, he has never, well, at the times that it suited him, he made it seem like he understood what I was saying and would own his part. Yeah, but so I finally got him out of here. It didn't take very long, but he was grumbling the whole way, and I can't believe you're doing this, and I just stayed quiet because I knew he would be gone in moments and I wouldn't be having him back in here. So yeah, sure enough, he started blowing my phone up. It was 12:30 at night, and just saying, I can't believe that. I can't believe you did this, and not letting me vape over there. You said it was okay the night before, and just on and on. And so I sent him a really long message. He sent me a message this morning saying that he was really sorry that sometimes he's just really grumpy when he gets woke up, and he hopes I understand. Well, no, I didn't understand, because it wasn't like that. And I sent him a really long message just telling him how I felt, and I felt really, really good about the message. And I wasn't being mean at all, but I said I'm speaking to somebody that absolutely refuses to own their part. And so the part of the attraction that I had for him, I've been asking the ancients for a couple months now, why am I attracted? Why have I been attracted to bad boys my whole life? Unavailable men. And the answer came in this morning. It's just so beautiful. My dad's been showing up the last few days since I've been hanging out with Pat. I was just like, hey Dad, how are you doing? And I even told this guy, I said, yeah, my dad's been showing up a lot the last few days. And this morning, my dad showed up and he showed me the answer to my question, why am I so attracted to bad boys? He showed me how oftentimes we are attracted to one of our parents, like the most dysfunctional parent in adulthood, so we can try to help them, so we can have a different outcome from our childhood trauma we experienced with that person. I was just like, that's it. That's absolutely it, Dad. Thank you so much. And then he said, he's just like me. You cannot help him. I was just like, thank you so much, Dad. Thank you so much. My dad dropped his physical form like 6 years ago, but he comes in very clearly at times, and it's so intense because when I wrote this man the message this morning, I told him exactly what my dad came in and said to me. And I said, my mom was with my dad for 68 years and she couldn't help him either. So Ocean and I talked about that this morning, and I'm just so deeply grateful that we can talk about all these really intense things and help each other through these really, really, really tough life lessons. She's been doing her work, and I've been doing mine too. And so I called her right before I started making this video, and I said I have a confession, and I told her that I'd been hanging out with him, like he's been in my space for the last 3 days. And she goes, oh my God. She said, my stomach has been hurting so bad for the last 3 days. It's because we can feel each other so well. And my dad had this hat that he wore. I think he had it even before I was born. I'm not sure, but it was a very old hat, and it felt very negative to me. I was over there smudging her place a couple months ago and encountered that hat, and I was just like, this hat's got to go. And she said, yeah, she knew that. And my oldest sister had a huge pile of wood out back, and wanted to build a big bonfire back there. And Mom said that she was going to burn that hat on that bonfire. And, quite some time has went by, and, I stopped saying anything about the hat because people have their own process. After we talked about it several times about burning the hat, getting rid of it, how important it would be to get rid of that energy. After I've said enough, then I just need to let it go and let that person either do it or not. It's their life. But I had every confidence that Ocean would actually do it. And so yesterday was the bonfire day, and I didn't know that. I was sitting here on the couch with that man, and Ocean sent me a message telling me that she burnt that hat. And I thought, and I looked over at this guy, and I thought that is not a coincidence at all. And we talked about it this morning, Ocean and I did, and just talked about how profound that is, that I feel like her burning that hat helped me release this situation completely. Because it did. It absolutely helped me 100%. And if you feel like you're stuck in a toxic situation and you're trying to get the incredibly toxic one to understand where you're coming from and why you can't be around them anymore, it doesn't work. They're never, even if they do understand. They do understand why you need to get away from them, why they're making you physically sick and mentally sick and spiritually sick. They totally get it, but they will never ever admit it, because then they won't be getting what they want. So I found myself trying to explain to him, why. And I did, because that's my part. I need to speak my truth. This is why. And I pointed out the things in him that I absolutely will not and cannot tolerate. I said, my purpose on the planet is way too precious to let myself be mistreated. I should never ever be with a man that gets angry with me for nothing. I don't do anything to people to make them angry with me. I don't deserve to be around an angry man, and I will not be. So they will not understand, though. They'll just keep it going round and round and round. It's our job. It is a part of building up our strength to get away from people that are just taking our energy, that are just taking from us and not adding to our life experience. This separation that has happened just today is a breeze for me. I'm just going through the process of releasing the energy, and I'm through it. For him, it's not so easy because he's not going to have my energy anymore. For me, it's easier because he chased me. He ran me off. He said, hopefully I don't run you off this time. He said that several times as we were starting to talk again. And I said, well, just don't be mean to me and you won't run me off. It's really that simple. But he was, and I'm not going to tolerate it. I said, maybe you will find a woman someday that will tolerate your mood swings, but I absolutely refuse to. I don't have to. I don't mind being single. I don't mind being alone. I don't even feel like it's alone. I don't get lonely. I don't jones for somebody. It felt amazing to have somebody, to be snuggling, but I'm not going to entertain those thoughts because I will have that again someday, and I will feel 100% safe with that person. 100% safe. So none of it is a mistake. Absolutely none of it. I did not make a mistake by going there. It's also incredibly important. They're reminding me to, because I will see him walking around the park. It's incredibly important for me to guard my thoughts as far as the attraction goes, because that can be very sneaky. That can be getting me sucked back in again. But I don't think I will fall. I will not fall for that again, because I know where it leads. It leads just the same as if I picked up a drink. It would lead to the same place. It would lead to absolute destruction and disaster in my life. And this man definitely has a temper. And they're saying I've just seen the surface of it. Just the tip of the iceberg as far as his temper goes. How long have I been talking? Wow, 37 minutes. I was going to show you around, but hopefully I will feel compelled to make a video again really soon. I really like recording videos, but it's been incredibly important for the last couple months. I don't know how long it's been, maybe a couple months. I didn't understand right away, but I grew to understand why they had me stop making them is because I had released one life lesson that I'd been going through for many years, and it was important for me to completely detach any of my energy that I was giving it anymore, and just completely sever any ties I had to that lesson going, and I have. So that feels really good. I was just like, am I gonna get to make videos again? I really like it. And I'd get like, when it's time, yeah, you will again, but just let it go. I even put, I wrote satsang on a piece of paper and put it in I call it my God box. Things that I feel like I want so badly, but don't feel like they're happening. I have to keep giving that away. And then I feel expansive again. And then I realize, oh, it is all happening, but it's happening in divine timing. I don't have to do more. I have to be more. satsangwithmamaji@gmail.com. If you feel like you are stuck in a situation and can't get out, we would love to talk to you about that. Oh, sorry I haven't messaged you, Grace. Your dad says, hello, Gracie. I love you so much. Love you, Ocean. Love you, Moonstar. Love you, daughters. Love you, ancients. Love you so much.